Robberies mass start of the week in Leh. Veteran cops say citizens must refocus. And working rural airstrips vital for development.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and welcome to Tuesday's news. Leh City started off the week on a bad note with two major robberies yesterday morning happening within a span of 2 hours. Police say at about 8 a.m. an unknown number of men armed with high-powered guns held up Pelgan's supermarket and walked off with a large sum of money. 2 hours later, at around 10 a.m., Leh International Hotel was also robbed. Leh Metropolitan Commander Chief Superintendent Anthony Wagambi says in both robberies, the suspects got away in a waiting vehicle.
Wagambi said in both robberies, the suspects walked into the shop and the hotel and held the staff at gunpoint. Police have yet to confirm the amount of money stolen from both locations, but it is understood relatively large sums of money were stolen. The criminals targeted the administrative office at Pelgan's and the account section at the Leh International Hotel.
The first robbery ended, the policemen, they tracked the suspects on foot into the hills band West Taraka. Unfortunately, we have not made an arrest yet, but there was a trail of blood along the way, so which is evidence that some of the suspects may have sustained some gunshot wounds from police.
Police say about 7 suspects walked into the Pelgan's administrative office and held up the employees. They got away in a waiting dark blue Land Cruiser towards West Taraka with the money. Police were informed and gave chase. Just before they reached the West Taraka bridge, the criminals fired back at the police. It was there that gunshots were exchanged. The chase ended where the robbers abandoned the vehicle and made off on foot. The men were armed with 1 high-powered weapon and 2 factory-made guns. 2 hours later, 5 suspects walked into the account section at the Leh International Hotel, held up the staff, took the money and got away in a waiting brown 10-seater vehicle.
They held up people in there, and in the process they assaulted a couple of staff, and they made off with takings from the hotel.
Police were alerted and gave chase, but the criminals left the vehicle at Voco Point and escaped on a boat. Investigations into both incidents have begun. Mataluis, National EMTV News, Leh.
As Papua New Guineans return to normal life after the independence celebrations, 2 former senior police officers have reflected on their independence experiences. Former Assistant Police Commissioners Giosi Labi and Bunu Katusele say Papua New Guineans need to refocus on what is important. Both men said attention must be given to concerns by landowners in resource areas to avoid a repeat of Bougainville.
Former Assistant Police Commissioner Giosi Labi has fond memories of his early days as a young cop. Weeks before Independence Day in 1975, he led a mobile squad to the Western Highlands to quell fighting.
I was the mobile squad commander, mobile squad 11 in Hagen. And we were then based in Rabaul, and then people fight, so Singapore people are 4+ squad or Rabaul go on Tablum.
Then on the eve of Independence Day, the young mobile squad commander and his troops were called to Port Moresby as part of a contingent tasked with providing security during the flag-raising ceremony and the handover by the colonial administration.
And many white people left in fear of bloodshed. But we can thank him, God or something, there was nothing of the sort. There was unity. People shook hands, whether you Papuan, whether you Highlander or one of them, they shook hands to see the first time our flag was raised there by independent deals. All our VIPs came, some of them came with 2 minds or mixed feelings, whether they would make a problem or not, but there was nothing of that sort.
And those memories have stuck with him since. Going into the next 10 years, he says Papua New Guineans should now focus on what's important, and that's nation building. He never actively served on Bougainville, but he says the government needs to approach landowner concerns with sensitivity.
More dialogue. dialogue and more understanding.
Colleague and fellow Morobian Bunu Katusele shares similar sentiments of the time of transition, seeing the Australian flag lowered and the transition from the colonial uniforms to the current.
We were proud of seeing the changes. And up until now, I must say that I'm proud to see the police force.
It was very moving, it was very sad, but on the other hand, people are mamas.
Both men, now in their latter years, have little regret having served with distinction in a constabulary highly criticized for its many instances of bad conduct. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lae.
Tenants living in one of the National Housing Commission estates in Port Moresby are camping near their burnt complex at 5 Mile after it went up in flames on the evening of the Independence Day last Friday. The tenants, who are mostly public servants, have been living there for more than 20 years. They have raised concerns to NHC for the lack of renovation to the buildings, which caused it to burn.
4 days after the complex burnt down, and tenants and their families are still living in makeshift houses and tents. They were told to camp near the building until they received the investigation report from the Fire Service Department. There are 4 units which house the 4 families. According to one tenant, Pagelo Nanu, who is a senior lawyer at the Public Solicitor's Office, the fire started from one of the shower rooms and then escalated.
The fire started from the bathroom, shower room. The cause of the fire is unknown. The Fire Service Department came and did the investigation for 2 days, the Saturday and Sunday, and we were advised that the report of the investigation will be ready within a week.
The fire started at around 7:30 p.m. Tenants were shocked to see their unit go up in flames within 15 minutes.
Rain put down, me no got have longo. Me stop tasol. No this la canvas. Wara time house lo me ben. The igat tap wara and broke. Me pleasure use him this la wara na stop. But toilet lucky me plagat boy house. Boy house stop na mi sebi mi pla.
House to mi fire na mi ogolo school na uniform do mi cook na gata clothes do mi cook na. Mega 1 plus seta sol na.
The tenants are also concerned about the response from the fire department at the time of the fire. They claimed that they alerted the fire service 5 minutes after the building started burning, but their response was slow.
They responded quickly. I believe the part of the building would have been saved, but the responses were very slow, and by the time they arrived, the whole building was down.
NHC has never paid any visit to the tenants since the building burnt down. Basanata Yama, National EMTV News.
Rural airstrips must be developed and maintained, says Alotau MP Charles Abel. Speaking to EMTV recently, MP Abel said rural airstrips play a vital role in helping services reach rural communities. Abel made this statement as Alotau District prepares to roll out its flying doctor service, Hands of Rescue.
This is Rabba airstrip, an old airstrip established in the colonial days. For the past 30 years, it has been neglected, but now the maintenance of this infrastructure is crucial for Alotau District. Alotau MP Charles Abel says with the aim of bringing services to the lowest level of government, the upgrading and maintenance of rural airstrips must be the focus.
Through the Rural Airstrips Authority that the government has established to maintain many of the rural airstrips, keep them to a certain standard, and then we partner with some of the third-level operators to actually service those airstrips.
Alotau District is the largest district by landmass in Milne Bay Province. Its scattered geography does not make it easy for the district to deliver much-needed services on time. However, MP Abel says building appropriate infrastructure is the key to save the rural people.
This is the airstrip at our district headquarters, Rabba, and it is one of the airstrips that we are reopening under our development program. But there are many others that are more important in a sense, because Rubber is on the coast. It's got access to marine transportation and eventually road.
For Alatau District, the public-private partnership with Dr. Barry Kebby will see health services rolled out in the coming weeks using the hands-off rescue. This plane will serve people on islands and inland areas of Alatau District.
But this airstrip is ready to take planes now, and so Dr. Barry will be flying in here, and eventually he will be servicing all of our rural airstrips, not just in Alatau District, but throughout the province.
Not only health services will be provided. The secondary role of the aircraft is to help transport coffee produce into town. Jack Lapave, Junior National, EMTV News.
Still in Alatau, a remote technical skills training institution needs support to enhance its standards. Stephen Sampson, school principal of Rabba Vocational College, says the trend of people being accepted to universities is minimum and priority must be given to technical or TVET institutions. He made this statement following the opening of 2 new teachers' houses.
Rabba Vocational College is one of the few technical skills training institutions in Milne Bay Province. It's located within Rabba Station, so isolated and rural-based. Just recently, the school opened 2 new houses for its staff.
May God bless those teachers, and may God guide them to impart that knowledge as best they can to our students. Hip hip! Hooray!
Speaking after the house opening, college principal Stephen Sampson said there has been support but at a slower pace. He says this technical skill institution must be supported through infrastructures so it provides opportunities to school leavers.
It's in our plan that we are trying to build up a tourism building where we can able to accommodate guests as part of our students training here.
The institution currently introduced new skilled courses, and Principal Sampson says students are helping build the school with 2 teachers' houses, the first project.
That's part of what we are talking about, quality training. So this is some of the integrities where teachers are well accommodated, and we have a good number of teachers so that they can able to teach our students.
Speaking on a national level, Alatau MP and National Planning and Monitoring Minister Charles Abel says a huge gap remains in supporting and maintaining PNG's health and education institution.
And it's a big distance we still have to go to that. So that's why the Planning Act and the Service Delivery Framework saying that we need a minimum of 1 elementary per council ward.
The 2 new houses will be occupied next week. Jack Lapave, Junior National, EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. The PNG Nurses Association Awards is not in the 2016 budget, but the government will honor it. That's from Health Secretary Pascal Kase, who said the decision was made last week by the Department of Personnel Management, Health Department and other state agencies. Mr. Kase says the outstanding awards will be met, and since it's not catered for in the 2016 budget, it will be planned into the 2017 budget. This will allow for back payment to January 2016 to be paid. Mr. Kase added there is now an agreement and commitment by the state to put the new awards on the first payday of October 2016. The Health Secretary met with the Nurses Association yesterday and was able to come to an agreement.
Last week, the letter has been forwarded to the nurses and they are happy. And so all our nurses around the country are now back at work. So they very much look forward to receiving their entitlements when the first payday of October 2016 come around. Yesterday, on Monday, I met with the nurses executives to communicate the plan for implementation. So there will be a lot of work that has to be done.
Meanwhile, the School of Medicine and Health Sciences is understaffed as doctors have left their teaching positions. In an exclusive with EMTV News, staff say they have grown impatient, waiting for the government to address their outstanding awards. While they say they will continue to teach at the university, the lack of staff and lack of response from the government has taken its toll on the academic staff.
The award is a memorandum of agreement between the Department of Personnel Management and the National Doctors Association. The purpose of the MOA was in response to claims made by the NDA to improve the terms and work conditions of doctors in the public sector. The SMH's academic staff says while other members of the NDA have been given their awards, they are still awaiting theirs.
This MOA has only partially been implemented because us, the National Medical Academics of the University of Papua New Guinea, we haven't actually been awarded what is rightfully ours through this MOA.
They have brought the matter to the attention of the University of Papua New Guinea and have received positive feedback. However, numerous meetings with DPM and the Chief Secretary have left them uncertain. They said they are yet to receive a written agreement from the government.
We have been patient. Students have just come back from the strike thing that they led, and the school year just started last week. We don't want to cause further disruption.
This has caused a series of effects on the academic staff. Some doctors have left their teaching positions, leaving the university understaffed, resulting in some medical field classes with one lecturer to teach the entire discipline. The School of Medicine and Health Science has 29 academic staff. This includes professors, senior lecturers, and lecturers who cover around 600 students. Meanwhile, EMTV spoke to Health Secretary Pascal Kase this morning, who said a meeting that was held last week with the DPM and the Chief Secretary had decided to honor the awards.
The outstanding payment will also be paid, and similar approach will be taken that on the first pay of October 2016, the awards as per the National Doctors Awards will be put on their salaries for ongoing payments.
Mr. Kase said any outstanding from the NDA awards that the university lecturers, especially the doctors, that are not getting, that will be paid in lump sum in 2017. Merlin Diaukatam, National EMTV News.
Health experts and organizations in Papua New Guinea have joined forces to educate women about gynecological cancers. Education, outreach, and global community engagement programs will be conducted under the banner of Globathon, a global movement to end women's cancers, which Papua New Guinea is a member to. Today, the event was launched to raise awareness on the prevention and early detection of all gynecological cancers among women. The mission of the Globathon is to increase awareness, address disparities, and transcend barriers through educational programs. The actual event will be on the 25th of this month. The participants of the Demographic Health Survey on Anthropometrics training today. It is used to identify the human physical variation, which includes the measurement of an individual human being. This part of the survey covers children from ages between 0 to 5 years old.
The participants of the Demographic Health Survey in Leh took some time out to bring in their children to be part of today's training. The training was based on anthropometrics, a measurement or description of the physical dimensions and properties of the body. The interviewers, together with their assistant, are required to take down measurements on the heights and weights of children ages 0 to 5 years old. Juliana Nia Kambari, one of the participants, says the data collected is important for the health sector.
How our children are, they should be well fed. How mothers should know how to, look after their children.
Jeffrey Adams, the provincial survey coordinator, says the actual survey will be conducted in all 9 districts of Morobe province. However, not all areas will be covered. The census unit will be randomly selected to undergo the survey. Adams said there will be a practical period of 3 months after the training ends this weekend.
We have selected 3 census units in the province. That's 2 urban and 1 village. And we're so thankful that the councillors of these 2 wards that have been selected are very cooperative with us. And they have advised where we will go, and the people are ready.
Some of the interviewers who were involved in the 2006 survey are currently undertaking the Demographic Health Survey training workshop. David Arrow, an interviewer in the 2006 survey, shared his experience when conducting the survey.
Compared to 2006 and 2016 now, the workload is enormous.
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Leh.
Women entrepreneurs in Port Moresby now have access to much-needed space to conduct their businesses. This was made possible through the efforts of the PNG Women in Business. The entrepreneurs have used the space for the first time at the 10 Days Women in Business Expo.
The former hardware house building within the steamship's compound at Waigani in the nation's capital has become a melting pot of talents and skills of women entrepreneurs.
It is one of PNG Women in Business vision to showcase the women's talent. We talk to them in theory, they do things in their homes and in their villages. So there is a time that we feel that they should come out and showcase their talent and provide place for them to actually sell their products.
The third Women's Expo is currently underway with many stalls displaying the different businesses run by women, from arts and crafts, fashion, menus, and a whole heap of other businesses.
It's great to have all the women in one place, I believe. It helps us to inspire one another in our daily conduct, to share information as well. If one of them promotes her stall on, say, her Facebook page, someone comes in and they walk past your stall to get to hers. So it's a wonderful way to leverage off one another.
PNG WIB Executive Director Janet Sape said the venue has and will continue to open doors for the entrepreneurs.
For Port Moresby, this is the place which will be more like the expo almost on a daily basis. After the 10 days, this place will be a permanent Women in Business Trading Center. And the women will keep this place, and this is where everyone can come. This is a place secured and provided for women in business. So it's not for any specific organization or any specific group. PNG Women in Business believes in uniting women and promoting their businesses and to network with each other. It's all about promoting women.
The Women's Expo is open to the general public and will close on the 25th of September. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
Another group of landowners in Hela province had issued a threat to shut down PNG LNG work operations on their land following delay in royalty and benefit payments. A group representing PDL number 4 say their 14 days petition to the government and ExxonMobil have lapsed and are now threatening to shut down PNG LNG pipes that run on their land.
The permanent government has been benefit. And we as a landowners, especially the pipeline, landowner segment to benefit pipeline, we have so quiet, wait so long. And then we are tired of asking that payment.
Troll negligence to our issues raised, we will reactively action our last contingency by going back home and then shut down all LNG related projects in segment 2, which is on our land.
7 days, me give my government finish this la paper. Nala me give my ExxonMobil 7 days, no one feedback. So ExxonMobil government, you like come to place, me go start a place. Thank you.
Papua New Guinea's South Pacific Brewery has won an international award for its South Pacific Export Lager brand. SP Export Lager has won the Gold Quality Award 9 times since 2006 at the Monde International Quality Institute. The awards are held annually in Brussels, where an independent panel of expert judges does a sensory assessment of the beer in what is known as blind tasting. Apart from the Gold Medal Award, SP Export Lager also received the International High Quality Trophy, an award which recognizes ongoing success at winning the Gold Selection Quality Awards for 3 consecutive years.
South Pacific Export Lager is brewed using the finest ingredients with the skill and the care to ensure we consistently achieve brewing excellence, which is reflected in the successive gold medals from the Monde selection. Credit must go to our loyal hardworking and dedicated staff who give their best to maintain these high levels of excellence, which we will continue to maintain.
And now looking at our finance news, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.3155 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.3080 US, $0.4055 Australian dollars, $0.2725 euro, and 31.02 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa, and copra closed the day higher. Crude oil closed lower, palm oil and copper closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 3.63 points lower, the ASX is trading at 8.84 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 3.62 points higher. Stories making headlines overseas when we come back, including the latest terror attack in the United States. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Videos posted on a social media website on Monday showed devastation near Aleppo, where UN and Syrian Arab Red Crescent convoy along with a warehouse were hit by airstrikes. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights Monitoring Group said the attacks were carried out by either Syrian or Russian aircraft, adding that there had been 35 strikes in and around Aleppo since the truce ended.
In one clip, a member of the Syrian Civil Defense, a rescue workers organization that operates in rebel-held areas, is seen describing the scene with a burning building in the background. The development appears to signal that the latest efforts to halt Syria's 5.5-year-old civil war was close to collapse. Syria's army says the 7-day truce period has ended. It accused terrorist groups, a term the government uses for all insurgents, of exploiting the calm to rearm while violating the ceasefire 300 times, and vowed to continue fulfilling its national duties and fighting terrorism in order to bring back security and stability. A local resident told Reuters by phone that the truck was hit by about 5 missile strikes while parked in a center belonging to the Syrian Red Crescent in al-Kabra, a town near Aleppo. The head of the center and several others were badly injured. Moscow supports Syrian President Bashar al-Assad with its air force. The Syrian military could not immediately be reached for comments. Melissa Goviro, EMTV World News.
At the closing session of a high-level United Nations General Assembly meeting, world leaders adopted a political declaration to spend the next 2 years negotiating global compacts on refugees and safe, orderly and regular migration. UN Deputy Secretary General Jan Eliasson commended the efforts of the gathered assembly to cater for refugees but emphasized the need for them to work together.
The declaration, although not legally binding, has been dismissed by human rights and aid groups as insufficient, as it does not include a call by UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon for 10% of refugees to be resettled annually.
You have saved the lives of migrants at sea. You have treated migrants humanely. You have extended protection to refugees. Yes. All this is to be commended. However, we know that no one state can deal with these transnational issues by acting alone.
Migrant flows are not new, but a record wave of more than 1 million migrants last year prompted division among European Union states over how to share responsibility for them. Eliasson said the international community is poised to shape a new future where migrants are better integrated into their host societies.
Together, perhaps the most important word in the world today, we can shape a new future. And this must be a future where migrants and refugees, host nations, and host communities can live together in harmony, well-being, and mutual respect.
Melissa Gaviro, EMTV World News.
The man suspected in a series of bombings in New York and New Jersey is now charged with 5 counts of attempted murder of police. Investigators are questioning Ahmad Rahami, but he has not been cooperating. They identified him using a fingerprint on one of the devices. Surveillance video showed him near the site of the explosion that wounded 29 people on Sunday PNG time in Manhattan. Authorities found Rahami on a tip, sleeping outside a bar. He then got into a shootout with police. Rahami and 2 policemen were wounded.
A massive manhunt for bombing suspect Ahmad Khan Rahami ending in a shootout with police in Linden, New Jersey. The tip to Rahami's location came shortly before 11 this morning when a local bar owner who had seen the suspect's photo on CNN called police to say he was sleeping in front of his bar. Linden's police chief tells CNN that when an officer approached Rahami, he pulled out a gun, shooting the officer, striking his bulletproof vest. Rahami took off running, firing at random.
I stayed on the corner and then I hear people yell out active shooter, and then I see cops with bulletproof vests like running onto the street, and then I heard 3 shots.
Officers shot Rahami multiple times, taking him down in the street. The 28-year-old was alert as paramedics loaded him into an ambulance.
A lot of technology involved in this, but a lot of good old-fashioned police work too. I mean, between the FBI and the NYPD, the members of the Joint Terrorism Task Force, this is a pretty quick turnaround. And this happened 50 hours ago, and we have our suspect in custody.
The terror spree began Saturday morning in Seaside, New Jersey. Pipe bombs placed in a trash can partially exploded right before the start of a charity 5K race for U.S. Marines. No one was hurt. Then, around 8:30 Saturday night, a bomb exploded in New York City's Chelsea neighborhood, injuring 29 people. It was a pressure cooker bomb similar to the ones used in the Boston Marathon bombings. A federal law enforcement official said BBs and ball bearings were among the pieces of metal packed inside. 4 blocks away, another device was discovered, a pressure cooker bomb which failed to detonate, providing crucial leads. A senior law enforcement official tells CNN that an attached cell phone, possibly the detonator or timer, provided important numbers in the phone. A fingerprint was also discovered. Surveillance video showed a man at both Manhattan locations, stopping first on West 23rd Street and then on West 27th Street, leaving behind a duffel bag which contained the second device. Late Sunday night, police were called to a train station in Elizabeth, New Jersey, where a backpack was found containing 5 suspected bombs, one exploding after a robot tried to disarm it. The investigation rapidly developing overnight with a focus on Elizabeth, New Jersey, where FBI agents executed a search warrant at Rahami's family restaurant and an upstairs apartment. The FBI chief here in New York says there's no indication that there's a cell operating here. However, there are questions about the motivation. Why did he do this? And is there anyone who may have helped him or provided support?
Chukai Sports is next. We'll have news on cricket and the Under-20 Women's World Cup. Stay tuned for details.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. In cricket, the Hebo Barramandis started their campaign in South Australia's Premier League positively after defeating Southern Force comfortably by 6 wickets in Darwin on Sunday. Captain Asad Vala's brilliant unbeaten century brought the win home. Batting first, Southern Force were bowled out for a very competitive 269 inside 49 overs. After an opening partnership of 65, the Barramandis pegged back the Force batsmen, with Willie Gavera leading the way in his first competitive match for the Barramandis, taking 4 for 34 in 9 overs. Norman Vanua with 3 for 61 was the other multiple wicket taker for the Barramundis, while Mahuru Dai with 1 for 39, John Boge Revers 1 for 37 and Asad Valas 1 for 22 took a wicket each. The Barramundis chased down the 270 target in only 44 overs, losing only 4 wickets on the back of a classy unbeaten century. Sesebao continued his good form, hitting a half-century, while 3 other batsmen scored at least 20 runs. The approaching FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup Papua New Guinea 2016 officially started the sale of its corporate boxes to both the private and the public sector yesterday. The corporate boxes will be available at the Sir John Guy Stadium and the National Football Stadium only.
The prices for the corporate boxes are in ascending order from the group matches to the final. There will be packages as well on sale, starting with the ultimate package that went on sale along with the corporate boxes. This package will allow VIP parking, designated prime seating, food and beverage and selected tournament merchandise. The ultimate package is priced at $10,000 per package. Chief Executive Officer of the local organizing committee, Seamus Martin, says by going on sale, this allows the private and public sector ample time to purchase and plan their corporate hospitality for their clients or for their staff.
We've got corporate boxes at Sir John Guy Stadium and at the National Football Stadium. Okay. So our primary focus is on those 2 venues, and those 2 venues also hosting the bigger matches, so the opening game, the quarter-final, semi-final, and of course the finals.
More limited package as well as tickets will be released to the public and private sector on October 1st, while the public will have the greatest opportunity to purchase packages and tickets come November 1st when sales will be open to all.
So that's basically a ticket to any match, any venue, any day. So again, it provides you with a premium seating opportunity, it provides you with VIP parking, but it's the flexibility to pick and choose any of the 32 matches.
Is it transferable?
Yeah, it is. It's not restricted to an individual, so you can transfer it, a company can buy it, and then can look to utilise it for whoever they want in their staff.
The FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup Papua New Guinea 2016 begins on 13th November and ends on December the 3rd. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The PNG Under-16 and the Prime Minister's 13 team were out for their second training session at the National Football Stadium this afternoon. They prepare for the weekend match, which sees the Under-16 PNG team take on the Under-16 New South Wales Academy, while PNG PM's 13 take on Australia.
After the PNG Under-16 training session, Coach Dennis Mael said the team has a good mixture of boys from different confederates and have been getting along well.
This is our second day of having the boys out of the field. Having boys coming from different rugby league background from their own province, we have to try to get them up to a certain standard or level that is acceptable as a team. And so far, having today the last session for the day, the boys have picked up well.
He says the New South Wales side will be much bigger and they will try to strategize to counter for that.
We're focusing on our defense and just basics on our general play, attacking and our ruck area. That will be the focus of this week.
Over to the PM's 13 team, the boys had an intense training session where more defensive work was done. Coach Michael Marum says the match this weekend will be difficult, with Mal Meninga naming a strong Australian team.
We want to concentrate on our boys. Okay? We won't have the size to match them, but we got some really good, exciting players there. Okay? We think Justin Olam can match up with Craig English there. So, he's proven himself all throughout the season. So, and we just have to have faith on all those boys, not only Justin, but all the other 19 players there. So.
He said preparations this week will be intense.
We just want to make sure we concentrate on our training. Our defense is really important. Okay? We're not that big. We've done a lot of work in the defense. We watched a bit of video last night too, together with the Under-16s that have been in training with us too. So, everyone's excited about it.
Elijah Levet, National MTV Sports.
A proposed revamp of Rugby League's eligibility rules is being hailed as a game-changer for Pacific nations. The Rugby League International Federation has approved plans that would allow eligible players to nominate both a Tier 1 and Tier 2 nation to represent, and the ability to switch between the countries multiple times within a World Cup cycle with no stand-down period. Polynesian players would also be free to play state of origin whilst remaining eligible for their native island country. Toa Samoa coach Matt Parrish has called for changes to eligibility rules and said the changes were a massive boost for Pacific teams and the international game. With PNG Games to be hosted next year on March 18, 2017, Team NCD Team General Manager Kila Dick says it's encouraging as provinces around the country can now take the opportunity to acquire more funds. He said while PNG Games is a costly exercise, great things can be achieved when people all work together as a team. Mr. Dick encouraged other provinces to make use of the remaining months since the deferral to organize well with the athletes and officials, especially with logistics and accommodation.
With the deferral of the Games still fresh in the minds of athletes and officials, including the host organizing committee, General Team Manager for NCD, Kila Dick, spoke to MTV Sports today as to why he finds the deferral of the Games encouraging. He said with extra months added, this will give all participating provinces the opportunity to organize and get themselves fully prepared and not to rush things.
I am very grateful actually because one of the biggest challenges we are faced with is funding. It takes a lot of effort to raise money, and each province is trying to take over about 600 plus athletes and officials, and the task to raise a lot of money it's a mammoth task.
He believes that the provinces are still yet to make proper selections, and funding is also a major contributing factor when it comes to costly exercises in making sure all necessary requirements are dealt with to attend the PNG Games and to stop any further hiccups. He said Team NCD has taken the deferral of the Games as an opportunity for improvement and the team to raise more corporate fundraiser drives and double-checking everything from athlete selections to number of codes selected to logistics, accommodation and overall in making sure the entire team is cared for while in Kimbe.
So the deferment of the Games by large is encouraging for us. And I talk on behalf of the other provinces as well. If NCD can really face the hard times of raising money, I reckon the other provinces are also feeling the same pinch as we do. There is a lot of cost involved in big and games like this. One is accommodation, travel costs, both if it's going to be air or by sea, uniforms and meals, and the logistics during the internal aspects of the time of the events. It's 2 weeks competition.
Godwin Eki, National MTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather details when we come back.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region, passing showers in Port Moresby, Kerema, Alotau and Popondetta, and mostly fine in Daru. In the Momase region, cloudy with likely shower or two in Ley, mostly fine in Medang and Wewak, and fine in Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine in Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe, and fine weather in Buka. And in the Highlands region, mostly fine in all centers.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Now recapping our main stories for tonight. Robberies mass start of the week in Ley. Veteran Corps says citizens must refocus, and Alotau MP to provide flying doctor service in Milne Bay. And that has been the news, sports and weather for tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Helen Sayre. Pleasant viewing. Good night.